Real quickly before we begin, I want to thank this video's sponsor, carmarshal.com. Carmarshal.com can save you lots of money on buying used or new vehicles, cars, trucks, school buses. If you want to save money, I'll have a link in the description down below. I know I'm going to...
A step closer to equal justice. Governor Rick Scott signs sweeping court data collection legislation. By John Kennedy. J. Kennedy at GatehouseMedia.com. Tallahassee, Governor Rick Scott signed into law Friday legislation requiring sweeping, new courthouse data collection, which supporters say will home in on rampant racial disparities in sentencing exposed by reporting in the Sarasota Herald Tribune. The legislation, CS/SB 1392, cleared the legislature in the closing minutes of the 2018 session. Scott signed the measure without comment, but Senate President Joe Negron earlier said the legislation was a critical step toward equalizing justice. In Florida, it's important at all times to be evaluating our criminal justice system to make sure that there aren't biases and prejudices and other things that we don't want to happen, Negron said. And the best way to determine that is to get actual information and data and research to make sure that we're treating everyone fairly regardless of their racial background, their education, income. The new law will create a uniform databank containing information on arrest and bail proceedings and criminal sentencing, and will be searchable by the public through the Florida Department of Law Enforcement website. It follows 2 years of reporting by the Herald Tribune on racial bias in criminal sentencing that resulted in 2 series, Bias on the Bench, published in December 2016, and One War, Two Races, published last year. Those series found Florida's criminal justice system is stacked against blacks. With bias especially evident in drug crimes, the paper's analysis found that black offenders averaged far more time in prison than white offenders with comparable histories under state sentencing guidelines. To read the Herald Tribune's Bias on the Bench series, go to heraldtribune.com/bias. To reach One War, Two Races, go to heraldtribune.com/drugs. The data collected will include such basic information on offenders as age and race. A goal of the databank, available next January, will be to let the public track a defendant's experience in the system from start to finish, and compare it with others. Building the database will require court clerks, state attorneys, public defenders, jail administrators and the Florida Department of Corrections to collect about 150 different data elements and transmit that information weekly to the FDLE. House Speaker Richard Corcoran, Land O'Lakes, had labeled the legislation a priority of the House. Corcoran said that once the database is publicly available, it will throw back the curtain and undo all the institutional biases in the judicial system, giving Florida the most transparent sentencing system in the nation. A similar bill to reform data collection was first proposed last year by Senator Audrey Gibson, D. Jacksonville. But the bill died in the Senate Judiciary Committee last year. In a statement after the bill passed this month, Representative Chris Sprowls, Palm Harbor, a former prosecutor who championed the bill, said in a statement, "The ability to look at qualitative information about our criminal justice system will not only bring transparency, it will guide our future decision-making."
Hey, Sheriff, we have a question about why your office, your intelligence division, is investigating private citizens for criminal investigation that happen to be activists that are overseeing your department. Why would you have your intelligence division investigate private citizens? We have done...
For life hating so much.
Sir, we don't hate anyone. We love freedom and we love American people. And government is out of control. That's why you're seeing such a revolt nationwide. Why can't you just answer, why is Susan Edwards, your intelligence division, investigating private citizens? This should not happen.
Are you here to apply for a job?
Possibly I might be applying for a job, but that's irrelevant to my question. Why would you ask that question?
Well, enjoy the fair.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Excuse you?
Excuse me, sir.
So those of you that haven't
Wow.
been on a bike before, we're
Sheriff's
just
getting a little too pushy. You work for us, Sheriff. Just keep that in mind. At one time we respected you, but not with that type of attitude.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I just wanted you to know that I am using this stuff under fair use, and also remember to like and subscribe this channel. Also too, keep in mind I do not make any money on YouTube. This is 5 hours work a day, you know, fighting for freedom. And you can donate with PayPal and Patreon. I just want you to think about this. If everybody gives to PayPal and Patreon, Patreon is every month. Actually, PayPal you can do every month. I have 12,000 subscribers. If everybody gives, I can quit my regular job and go full-time investigations on Charlotte County and possibly even more and beyond. So just keep that in mind. If everybody helps out, I can go full-time doing this. Thanks.